Good morning. Good morning. I'm Logan Penfield. I'm the Housing Development Manager with the City of Sioux Falls, and that's part of Planning and Development Services. The Housing Division leverages local, state, and federal funding to administer programs and support community partners to address housing needs for low to moderate income families and individuals across the City of Sioux Falls. Some of the programs that we offer are the Single Family Rehabilitation Program, Mobile Home Repair Program, Rental Rehabilitation Program, and Neighborhood Revitalization Partnerships. As a team, we're really strategic about how and where we invest our dollars. Our programs get funding directly into the hands of homeowners or rental property owners to make targeted and critical investments across the community. For example, homeowners who qualify for the Single Family Rehab Program are often elderly and live on a fixed income. The program can provide them with funding to make necessary and sometimes emergency repairs to their homes, such as roof or furnace replacement, without the unexpected burden of a huge repair bill. Additionally, our programs are financially sustainable because we offer zero interest or low interest loans, often deferred to homeowners to be reinvested eventually. For our neighborhood revitalization programs, we develop strategic partnerships with housing stakeholders in the community. As a city, we do not offer case management services, but we partner with entities across the community that do. With all of that said, housing needs in our community are ever evolving, and this is why we focus on making data-driven decisions. We want to make sure that we understand what the need is and how we can drive forward funding projects to meet the need while maximizing our impact. Part of that is also sharing our progress. To help us continue to tell our story and share the impact of our work across the City of Sioux Falls to residents, city leadership, and community partners, I'm excited to introduce our new housing dashboard. On the screen, you'll see the housing dashboard, which went live this morning, and you can find it on the city's website at siouxfalls.gov/housing. The dashboard provides community-wide metrics such as population growth, permits for single and multifamily housing units, and median sales price in the City of Sioux Falls. Additionally, it highlights the investment our team makes across the community, including case management services, rental assistance, subsidized new construction, and rehabilitated units on an annual basis. These numbers are a 3-year outlook of our program totals. Program information on the right side of the dashboard comes directly from our annual reporting to HUD. Community population totals and total units permitted over time are updated by the city's Planning and Development Services Department. Vacancy rates are updated twice annually by the South Dakota Multifamily Housing Association. Median sales price is updated monthly by the Realtors Association of the Sioux Empire. By selecting the Programs tab on the upper right side of the page, visitors on the page can explore a map of single-family, mobile home, and rental rehabilitation projects that have been conducted by the city. We're expanding our mapping function over the next few weeks to also show the visual impacts of the Neighborhood Revitalization Program and our investments into new multifamily housing units. You can see that map on the screen now. I want to note that to protect personally identifiable information, single-family housing projects are displayed on a block level as opposed to an exact address. The interactive map also includes a function to overlay neighborhood association boundaries on the map. Our goal in sharing this dashboard is to provide an easy visual way to see how and where the city invests local, state, and federal funds to improve neighborhoods across the City of Sioux Falls. With that, thank you guys for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Logan, what's what's the real purpose of having the dashboard? I mean, is it to show where these things are happening? Is it just to raise awareness? Is it public relations? I mean, what's the reason?
First of all, I think it's important to note that this is all information that we collect, right? We have all this information at our hands annually. We use this information. This information is used in different studies that we eventually cite when we're talking about our housing needs assessment that was done by, for example, the Augustana University, or in our annual action plan when we look at the metrics across the community. So this is information that we have available. So from a high level, I would say it's context and transparency. It's context as in how do we make housing decisions as a team, right? We are data driven. We try to make sure that we're always looking at the newest information possible. I've been here for 3 years, and what the topics that came up 3 years ago when I was starting this job, to compare that to the topics that come up the most today, just within housing specifically, are very different. When I first came in, it was all single family, the need for first-time home buyers, and now we're constantly hearing, you heard with the debate with the state prison being expanded, the need for case management, rehabilitation to make sure that we're lowering recidivism rates, right? So that changes quite often, and so we're also trying to look at data to make sure we're not, solving yesterday's problem today, right? We're trying to always evolve. So this is a little bit of a look and a snapshot of how we're making these decisions, but also our outcomes. We often get asked, what are you doing about housing? What is the city doing? What are our partners doing? So we thought it would be a good idea to try to show in real time, based on the information we have, available. Obviously, there's a little bit of lag in the information we report, the outcomes that we're seeing. And we're offering that within context of a map, right? The mapping function is important, and we show a 5-year project overlay on that map as opposed to a 3-year one on the graph side. And the idea of that is when we're meeting with neighborhood associations, right, or when we're talking to different counselors that represent different portions of the community, right, we can show them, the different type of work that we're doing in that particular part of a community. And you'll see areas where there's maybe look like there's more investment, but it's spread out pretty well across the community. And a lot of that is based on the housing stock available, right? The older housing stock you have, the more we're going to put into single family rehab there. And that's just by, people coming to us, right? We're not going out there and actively saying, would you like to apply for this program? We send out mailers, but it's mostly word of mouth and people coming in. So there's a little bit of, there's obviously, transparency, there's context, but there's also trying to share our story too with the community so that they're aware of what we do. And hopefully we get the word out there of what we're doing and we have more people that want to utilize our programs, right? Single family rehab, we have a pretty good base of how many units that we do annually. It ebbs and flows a little bit because we report, project completions as opposed to project progress. But we spend roughly $1.5 million in CDBG funds annually with program income and with our annual allocation, and about $1.1 million of that is on our single family rehab program. And sometimes we need to add dollars to that with general funds, right? It always comes back. So we're always trying to get the word out for people to use that program. We see just great success in that every year. So that's part of it too.
Because you're not at capacity, particularly on the single family improvement. You could do more.
We usually, like I said, it ebbs and flows a little bit, and when we have some kind of a slowdown in applications, we'll do some advertising, some targeted advertising on Facebook or mailers. When different departments are sending out mailers, for example, on the Emerald Ash Borer, one thing that they qualify for if they're income restricted is that they can utilize that loan program to assist them with the removal of that tree if it's on their property. And then a lot of times it's kind of a foothold, right? People apply for that, but they also have 2 rotted windows, or they might need some, a door replaced or something like that. They'll come in and they'll apply for that program and realize that they can do additional rehabilitation. So yes, we're always trying to drive applications for that, But if we're really in a position where they've slowed down, we'll do targeted advertising, and it usually picks up. So we're pretty stable there, but it takes a constant effort to make sure that we're out there talking about it in the community like we're doing today, right? To make sure that those applications continue to come in.
Yeah, just one question. When did you start working on this initiative?
We initially started on this, I think, about a year ago. The concept was kind of passed on to our team of we'd like to develop a housing dashboard. We took a couple different iterations of this, trying to figure out the best way to provide that context and transparency. We wanted to make sure that we're providing a snapshot of relevant information, which is on the left side, or I guess depending on which way you're looking at it, with the community metrics, right? The vacancy rates, the populations, the permits. That information is relative for context, right? Or relevant for context. We also wanted to figure out the best information to share on the other side of the screen, which is the housing division information. We wanted to make sure that when people were looking at that, they understood we weren't trying to put too much on there. And so we wanted to make sure that it was targeted to what we do. And so I would say this took about a year of on and off work. It was across departments. We had a joint staffer from the city and the county, Brianna White, was working on this. We had Civic Analytics that was helping on it, and a couple other different departments offering their thoughts on just the type of information to go in there. So it took about a year, largely because of the different cooks in the kitchen, for lack of a better term. Thank you, guys.